Okay, I'm clicking a whole bunch of things. All right, looks like we're live, guys. Hello, good morning, and welcome back to the Glass Man's World. That took a moment. I was having some technical difficulties there, so if you saw all of that, I'm sorry. And if not, well, thanks for bearing with me. So, like I said, I'm Dan the Glass Man. We're about to get started here on a really quick live instructional video. This is only going to be about 15 or 20 minutes, and then I got to get going for the day. So this is really to test out the microphone to see if the microphone is picking me up. That way I'll know that I can do live demonstrations like this and be able to speak very quietly. And also I want to be able to see if the microphone is picking up the hiss from the torch and from the fan when I'm speaking very quietly like this. So let's get started. Let's put on our glasses here. So today we're going to work on a spiral. So we worked on pulling stringers. We can do that again, but let's just move on. And instead of pulling stringers, let's say that we've already pulled one. I mean, I guess we could pull one. Sure, let's pull one right here. So you want to make sure that you have your torch set up with the propane and the oxygen at the right correct ratio. That's something that you would have to learn through time, trial, and error, and having someone like myself instruct you on where the torch should be. If it's too hot, if you have it like turned up way too much, you want to really bring it down. Or if it's if it's not hot enough, you may want to turn it up. So learning how to control the flame is good, and having the ratio correct is also important. All right, so we're just going to pull a stringer right here. Good morning, everyone. Those of you who are watching. Like I said, this is going to be a quick demonstration, and I'm testing out the audio to see if I can speak quietly into the microphone and if you guys can actually pick me up. I noticed last time that the microphone audio was really loud, and so I figured, well, I could probably just put the mic right in front of my face and be able to talk to you guys quietly, almost like ASMR. This is some ASMR glass blowing. Yeah, let's get that. And get the sound of the glass. Alright, so what we did is we pulled the stringer, we got the glass molten, used our tweezers here. Some people call them jacks. These are basically my tweezers here. And we just pulled out the glass, the molten part like that. Good morning, Madame Star. How you doing? The audio is good. Awesome. Thank you so much for letting me know. How you been doing? I saw you on last time, and then I was speaking with my friend Spirit Warrior, and I didn't see you there in the conversation anymore. But thank you for tuning in and watching. I'm actually getting ready to get my daughter to school right now, so I wanted to do a quick lesson here, as well as just testing out the audio, so I appreciate you being here. So what we've done is we got this part molten in only a small amount, pulled it out, and as we were pulling it, I was spinning the glass and making sure that it's like pulling a rope. You want to pull it nice and taut so it's nice and straight. So when I spin this, you can see that you can't even tell that I'm really spinning it because it's so straight. There's no wobble to it. It's not doing this as I'm spinning it. All right, so the next thing you would need is your glass rod. Okay, and I guess this is what we're using today, is a really short piece. Normally you'd want to use something a lot longer. I'll be able to use this stuff. So now we're going to introduce this into the flame, and we're going to bring the flame up. I don't know if you can hear the hissing of the torch too much now. Um, my phone breaking apparently was a good thing, because now I figured out I can actually do live demos like this with better audio quality. Oh, so you were watching last time, but you're doing other stuff. Like you're cooking now and making dog breakfast as well. Okay, that's awesome. But you're listening and watching. Sounds good. No, I get it. The morning routines. I'm actually waking up my daughter as we speak. I just woke her up. I normally do like 10-minute intervals. So I'm hoping this only takes me about 10 or 15 minutes. And this is going to be a really quick and short video this morning. So basically we introduced the rod, the clear rod, to 16 millimeter into the flame, just putting the tip in. We slowly start to heat this up. You'll see that it'll start to melt in the flame. Using the didymium glasses, you can see through the flame and through all that bright orange of what you guys are seeing on the screen. I'm actually able to see through that flame, and I can see the kind of like the orange glow of this through the flame. And right there, like you see it white hot, I just see it as a nice soft orange glow. So now what we do is we get this molten. And as you can see, it's molten all right here, but not molten here. There's a distinct line directly in the center right there. So we're going to take our glass that we pulled here, and I don't know which one we pulled, but either way, it doesn't matter. So we have a stringer here. We're going to force this in. It's going to go through this part, and then it's going to hit that part and not have anywhere else to go. That's pretty much when you stop pushing. Now, to make a mushroom, you would continue pushing this and continue pushing it and continue pushing it, allowing for the tip of the color to kind of back up and create the mushroom cap. For this spiral pendant, we're going to push it in, and as soon as it hits that wall right there, right at that line, as soon as it hits that wall, we're going to back it out so it doesn't form a mushroom cap. And we're also not going to preheat this. Normally I would preheat it, but right now we're just going to simply get it molten, leave this solid, that way it doesn't also mushroom out. So now we get this molten, we're going to force this directly into the center, push it in. As soon as it starts to mushroom, pull it back out. And at this point, we're not having to worry about a whole bunch of air bubbles or anything, because I basically pulled out that air pocket. So these are a lot quicker than the mushrooms. Well, this pushing that in is a lot quicker. But then we have to spiral this up. So then what we do is we get a piece of glass, which is just this is just a tubing, old used tubing. You can see it's jagged and broken on the bottom. I wouldn't recommend using broken pieces, but once you have experience, you can understand how not to cut yourself. So now what I'm doing is I'm getting this really molten with that colored, basically it's like the colored stringers inside of there. And then as I'm spinning this with this hand's going to basically just be stationary, and we're going to just push it onto the end. It's going to hold the end in place as I spin the rest of that molten glass, and you'll start to see that color will spiral on the inside. And then I try to keep it all in that same shape, so I'm not moving it around too much. At this point, your punchy is pretty much attached, as you can see. We need to get it off, but we didn't melt it. I kept the flame up here and not here. So I was able to keep the flame more where the color is. And so we can easily snap this off, just like that. Now this has a bunch of ridges and a bunch of you know, it's just twisted up. So now we need to make it molten and get it all nice and smooth again. So this would be the process, or the amount of time that it would take to get that air bubble out of the mushroom. We have to basically mess up the shaping of it and then get it back into the right shaping. And then you'll see the spirals start to show up inside of there. And there's several different ways on how you can spiral it, make it a tight spiral. You can make it a bigger, more like a tornado kind of spiral. You can push the color glass directly in the center. You can also push it off kind of at an angle, like a 45-degree angle, and it gives you a different kind of a spiral as well. So now this is all nice and molten. It's all rounded again. And now at this point, we'll get our punchy, which is basically a, oh, do I have one here? Did I drop it? Okay. I don't know where my punchies went. Maybe my cat, I think my cats maybe came into my room and dropped them on the floor. I'll have to check. So we'll just use this one here. The same one we used to spin and spiral it up. We'll just use this as a punchy. Basically just a piece of scrap glass that we're going to use to adhere this to the bottom. Now we're not going to have this molten. As you can see, it's already cooled down. This is molten. We're going to attach this molten glass to the end here. We're going to spin it and get it nice and straight. We don't want to have it crooked. We want to have it nice and straight. Give it a little bit of a tug, pull like you're pulling a rope nice and tight. And we're going to go above the color. So there's some color in there. And it's too bad. The one thing about this camera is it doesn't have autofocus. So basically what you see is what you get here. I don't know if I'll be able to show you too closely the color that's inside of here. So then I get this molten. As you can see, it's really bright just on that one spot right there, right above the color twist or the spiral. And then it starts to move around. As you can see, it's nice and malleable. So at that point, I'm going to hold the flame on there a little bit longer till it starts to kind of stretch out on its own. As you can see, it's starting to thin out. And then that's when I'll pull it and I'll form the loop by going up, hold it for a second, bring it down. That way you can let it set up. Hold it for a second, put it in the flame, and force that part over like that. Then you do a flame cut it off. So then you have that piece kind of stuck right there, little bump. So then we get that bump nice and molten. And then I'm going to use my reamer here, which is basically a carbon graphite tool, like a pencil. And we're going to use this to flatten that bump down against the body, like that. And we're going to use the flame to melt it all down and make it all become one. I'll keep the flame on that bump and round it out. And then I'll slowly start working the flame around the loop to get it all smaller. It'll also thicken up as it starts to get smaller. And then you want to make sure you don't allow the hole to close up. And that's the trick, is keeping your reamer there and making sure that you keep that hole to where then it doesn't close at all. And that's pretty much a done spiral. You can see a little bit of that color is inside of there, but you can't really tell. I don't think you can see it. There is no autofocus. So that's the only thing that's not cool about this camera and this setup here. I lost my phone. My phone is broken. I'll have to replace it soon. But for now, we can do this. And this audio is a lot better. That's what I really like. Let's see if I can get that spiral to glow at least. So now I snapped the punchy, and now we're melting the bottom in order to remove the punchy mark and to get that nice and smooth and rounded on the bottom again. So I'm just holding it up on the top of the flame. Then I go underneath the bottom of the flame and basically just keeping the flame right on the tip of the pendant, nowhere else. And you can see that the heat like really absorbs into that pendant a lot. I'm really just touching the surface, just the very edge of it, but it takes up that much heat. As you can see, like even the whole thing now is pretty much glowing, right? And half of it, this is all refraction from that, but that's what you see is all the molten part there. Oh, you can see the spiral inside. So yeah, so now that it's glowing, now you can really see it. So there's a spiral inside. It's I think a blue, kind of a dark blue, not the peacock, but a little bit darker. I don't know, like a midnight blue or something like that. So that's how you make a spiral. Really simple. Those are the $5 pendants that I have available. I will probably post these up on my Facebook page, the original $5 mushroom. And we'll probably have the spirals there as well, since they're also only $5. Also, I'm going to be starting up a new page on Facebook and possibly doing another side business called the 420 and under. 420 and under. So everything that will be available there is for $20 and less. So 420 and under. Look for that coming soon. And other than that, you guys have a beautiful day. Thank you so much for watching. I got to go get my daughter up and get her to school. All right. Love and blessings. You guys have a beautiful day. And thanks for coming in, Madame Star, and for helping me let me know that I have audio here. Appreciate it. Yeah, have a great day too. Bye for now.